Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Bakar Kodash. We send double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Send much peace, love, and salutations to Yakim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, sincerity and truth to Brother Ariella. And this is just a real quick World War III Algo update. As you brothers and sisters know, there was an attack that the state of Israel committed on Qatar, saying that they wanted to attack some of the Hamas leadership that were in Qatar, which Qatar isn't actually a Middle Eastern ally of the West. So for them to do this preemptive attack was kind of weird. But these are the type of things that need to happen within the World War III algorithm. That's why I got this word pulled up, provocation. It's the type of provocations that come, that cause sides to shift and situations to change to lead to biblical prophecy going down as far as the War of Armageddon. Now, this word provocation, when you look it up, means incitement or urging, right? A calling forth, a summoning, a challenge. These type of things that the small hats are doing are provoking or stirring up the pot, right? For the War of Armageddon is stirring up the Arabs in the Middle East for the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, right? It says specifically act of exciting anger or vexation. The meaning anything that excites anger, a cause of resentment, and that's exactly what's happened because of the attack. It's caused these Middle Eastern so-called allies to be stirred up against the state of Israel. Now, we always read these scriptures here in Jeremiah 49 and Jeremiah 50 about how surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. These are the type of things that, really, really make that scripture jump off the page. Now, I have this article here, right, in MiddleEastMonitor.com. It says Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, or the UAE, condemn Israeli strike on Hamas leadership in Qatar, right? And also the Saudis were upset with this, man. It says Jordan and the United Arab Emirates strongly denounced on Tuesday an Israeli strike targeting leadership in the Qatari capital Doha. In a statement, Jordan's foreign ministry, in which Jordan and the United Arab Emirates are friendly with the West, right? There's military bases that they have there, not only in Qatar but also in the UAE and Jordan. Okay, the United States has pretty much business friendly relationships with the Saudis. These things stir the pot up. Right? This is in a statement. Jordan's foreign minister called the attack a blatant violation of international law and the United Nations Charter and a flagrant assault on sovereignty and security of sisterly Qatar. Right? The ministry warned that the attack pushes the region toward further violence and conflict and threatens regional and international security and stability. Right? But these are the type of things that we know are necessary in order for things to go down. When you read here in Joel, the 3rd chapter, it talks about, in verse 9, proclaim this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man. Provocation, wake up, excite, get them up. Wake up the mighty man, let the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened. Provocation. And come to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I judge all the heathen round about. So, this is what's happening as far as keeping these heathens prepared to fight. All right, so CNN did a interview with the Qatari Prime Minister, and you can hear his frustration. Now, his English is so good, you can tell they have great relations with the United States and the West. But just listen to what he says, man. It shows you how much these small hats use propaganda to do things, and it's starting to be called out, man. It's starting to be called out. Okay? I'm going to play this and grab some water too.
For you and for the people of Qatar, so I very much appreciate your time. The Israeli attack on Qatar yesterday, local time, 3:40 in the afternoon, has been roundly condemned, variously described as treacherous, shameful, an action that risks further inflaming this region. You described Israel's action as state terrorism. What do you make of the timing of the attack?
Well, look, first of all, Becky, I think that if we look at the pattern of Netanyahu's action since the war started after October 7th, it's been like in a very systematic way trying to undermine any chance of stability, any chance of peace, and any chance of retrieving his own hostages. And these attempts, like we witnessed them in many occasions throughout the negotiations. Now, when we reached to a very critical moment, that he claims that, according to his intelligence, which is something like very publicly known for everyone, that I was meeting with the leadership of Hamas. Hamas leadership are discussing, the negotiation team are discussing the proposal of President Trump during that time.
This was Monday, this week.
Actually, everything about the meeting is very well known for the Israelis and for the Americans. And this is nothing. It's not something that we are hiding, or as some marginal people are saying, harboring or whatever. We have to go back to the origins. Now, the attack that...
So, he's describing here that everybody knows that they have negotiations that they were having with Hamas, how they were a mediator and have been a mediator in the Middle East to broker peace, to make things better. But, hey... Esau is in a different spirit right now. Esau, especially Amalek, they do not want peace. And they're being compelled, right, by a spirit to ferment war, to ferment chaos. All right? They're just not going to have it. They're not going to have it, bro. Right? Psalms 58:2 says, yea, in your heart, you work wickedness, you weigh the violence in your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. See, nothing's going to stop these Edomites for constantly fomenting war, okay? Like it talks about in Psalms 140. So they were presented to the media, oh, Hamas is in Qatar. This is a perfect time for us to attack their leadership. But meanwhile, you're attacking a sovereign ally.
That happened on Qatar territory.
And that's what the so-called white man does. He says, I'm sorry, friend. Don't take it personal. It's just business. They do it all the time.
It's happened on our sovereignty. This is number one. Number two, Qatar is a mediator that's been mediating many conflicts. Qatar, when Hamas office was established, was done with coordination, request by the Americans, by the Israelis. They've been using it as a communication channel for them, for Gaza, for all those years. And I'm sorry here, any Israeli politician who today is trying to to portray himself that he's away from this. This happened under Netanyahu's government, under Bennett government, under Lapid government, under Netanyahu's government again. Any agency says that no, they are not involved. It's not true.
So any of the meetings that Hamas has had with Qatar has been a coordinated effort, communicated between Qatar, between the United States, between the state of Israel. They all have been on it. This is how they knew that they were there. So look at the trust that's being broken, all right, by the small hats. This is a major provocation. This is going to cause the other Middle Eastern countries that are quote unquote allies with the West to look at the United States and the state of Israel in a totally different way. Like, okay, you dudes are some whole ass niggas, man. You know?
Mossad, Shabak, and the Ministry of Defense were involved in that. So there is no justification that this is considered harboring terrorism or whatever. These reckless claims. Now, does that justify for Netanyahu to come and attack a sovereign nation that hosts a negotiation that discussing a paper that's submitted by the United States? It's not only an undermining for our sovereignty and infringing our sovereignty. It's undermining for the entire negotiation. It's undermining for the U.S. effort. This is the country that's host the CENTCOM. How come we never thought that even there is like a very minimum level of manners and ethics?
There's a very minimal level of manner and ethics, meaning you are low down, you red devil, you like Nate would say, you little red devil, you you red scoundrel, you. However he said it in the little movie they made, right? So with these type of moves, it sets up more and more reasons for these nations to beat their plowshares and their pruning hooks into swords and spears and be prepared for war. All right? They break trust, man. Right? They lie, they scheme, they say one thing and then they do another. That's literally the definition of devil, a deceiver. Okay? And these other nations are starting to realize, and that's why they're going to be ready to pounce. All right, that's why they're going to be ready to come against Esau. Right. Obadiah, verse 2 says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen; thou art greatly despised." Right. So these nations they're like, oh wow, really? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, and that's what's happened is. They're looking at the Qataris and the other nations like, what you gonna do about it? Like little nigga, what are you gonna do? Yeah. We'll attack them in your sovereign nation. We told you we don't like them. What you gonna do about it? Sorry, not sorry. Right? These other nations are not gonna take too kindly to this. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? See, this is the mindset of Esau and their military. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen until they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? No, man, these nations are going to strip Esau bare. It's because it's going to be a royal rumble. And everybody's going to tag up and team up on the Edomites. Okay? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. You best believe now that there's going to be backdoor talks between the Saudis, between the Jordan, between the UAE, between Qatar. We gotta make sure we watch these dudes. We gotta get these dudes back. All right. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. See? So, Esau's moving this way, moving that way. And because of these provocations, it's going to motivate these heathen nations to gang up on the Edomites.
This has crossed it. I mean, honestly, I have no words to express how raged we are from such an action.
If you could describe it in one word, what would that be?
That's why the scripture says, and the nations have drunken down the wine of the wrath of fornication, and the nations are mad. Right? They're mad. Hold on, let me pull that. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it. It says that they're mad. Let me rewind that. Look, their frustration. I don't have any words.
Honestly, I have no words to express how raged we are from such an action.
If you could describe it in one word, what would that be?
This is state terror. That's what I call it.
Do you feel betrayed?
We are betrayed, yeah.
Boom. We are betrayed, right? So it says here, Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. See, they've created these military deals, these geopolitical pacts, right? They followed they told the line for the West. They've allowed them to come in and put military bases in their nations, right? All in their backyard. They've drunken of the wine of Babylon, of America. It says, therefore the nations are mad. Right? They're enraged. They're incensed because of the betrayal.
By the US?
No, I cannot.
Would that be?
This is state terror. That's what I call it.
Do you feel betrayed?
We are betrayed, yeah.
By the US?
No, I cannot say it's by the US. The US has expressed in many occasions their support to us. The US, the president, right after the attack, he spoke with His Highness the Emir, and he was very clear that this is unacceptable, and he's not agreeing with such a thing, and he was never informed about it. And the moment he was informed, he asked his official to inform us. Unfortunately, this information came too late, which is 10 minutes after the attack, as I stated yesterday. But when we were dealing with the Israelis as parties, we were thinking that we are dealing with like regular parties. But Netanyahu, he has no limits.
Let me drill down a little bit on exactly.
Boom. So yeah, that's all I want to get. This is a 22-minute long interview. I highly suggest bros listen to it. But it's just showing I just want to show the provocations that the small hats are doing to stir up the Middle East, stir up the Valley of Jehoshaphat, and make it to where all of these nations are going to descend, and how the war of Armageddon is imminent, man. Okay? And you can see it. This is where you're going to see these nations come in, and you're not going to know, you know, some people that might appear to be on one side are going to switch to another side because of these type of betrayals. Right? And the same thing is going to happen with the European nations. You're going to say, people will say, this country was a part of NATO, but they're bombing another NATO member because of different types of provocations and actions and betrayals, man. This is what happens, man. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. I just wanted to kind of cover that real quick. With that being said, man, I'm going to say, call hello. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to y'all out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, sincerely and true. Shalom.